Hey, hello everybody, True Marvels here, your 3 million G gamer. Welcome to another video. This one's going to be a bit different. I'm trying something new with these visual novels, a new kind of coverage, because they're a very difficult game to do videos on, I find. But this one's called Chemically Bonded. It's published by Ratalaika Games and developed by DS Sans. It's about Japanese high school relationships and centered around a science club, hence Chemically Bonded. So it says there you play a male Japanese student and you become entwined in a dispute between two neighboring female students. And obviously a love interest ensues depending on your choices. This game releases. Why has my email disappeared off my screen? Anyway, let me boot the game up while we while I'm refinding this information. There we go. Yeah, it comes out the 13th of October, Friday the 13th. Look at that, in October. That's a good one, isn't it? It comes out on Xbox, PlayStation 4 and Switch. It's a visual novel and it's priced at... It's $9.99 across the board, so $9.99, euros, pounds. Now, I have played through this game already, so I know kind of what the outcomes are of various choices, but like I say, I'm just trialing a new type of coverage for this kind of game. Now I'm just going to put everything on, so we're going through the choices. Now I don't know what this option is. I honestly don't know what this option is. You can choose a rating for each character in the game, and there's also this here as well, but the game doesn't really tell you anything. I find this config screen, it's very good to look at if you're not wanting to use it. If you are wanting to use it though, to understand it, it's a bit of a cluttered mess, but it looks great. It looks great if you just not want to use it, but I just don't know what these do. Honestly, don't know what these do. Not a clue. Anyway, we're just gonna start the game up, and I'm expecting this video to last about 10 minutes or so. So this place, what does it mean to me? Am I tired of it? Around me, the motion of time continues in the same rhythmic fashion day by day. Is it ever going to change? Asking myself, I can only succumb to giving no answers. Of course, the answers are there before my eyes, those which watch them diligently as they pass without notice. I'm here for an education, right? Part of me feels that might be the answer. Following the same path as everyone around me, living life nonchalantly oblivious to the outside world. Being a student, it's a life not many would consider special, despite us wanting to believe so. But here in this place, we define ourselves as individuals, a place where memories are made, where we form the bonds with those closest to us. Is that what this place means to me? One could say that being here is what makes us human, coming here to be taught what it's like to have ambition, to find our dreams. I wouldn't consider myself to be one of those people with no clear aspirations. Finding something like that would be nice. Maybe in the end, that's what this place is to me too. I just haven't found what I'm looking for. Okay, we get to choose our first name, so I'm just going to go with the default. Lifting my hand away from the chalkboard, all that is left is my name etched neatly in white on the otherwise blank canvas. So to me, it's well written. Being able to start again as a transfer student sounds like more than just a dream. Having the opportunity to make new connections, to make a new impression of myself rather than having to be the me everyone's had the chance to know over the last few years. If I were to describe it, fun would be the word that had come to mind. See, to me, that's a bad take to have. I mean, So past you at your previous education establishment, that you is no longer exists. So what were you faking that? Was that not you? Acting in a way to fit in? That's to me, that's no way to. I mean, I am a great believer is in you are you. If people can't accept who you are, that's their problem. Why should you change to fit in their box? Anyway, back to the game. If I were to describe it, fun would be the word that had come to mind. If luck was on my side, who knows? Maybe I'd meet a shy girl on the way to school under the guidance of fate. Or perhaps I'm just overthinking it. Something like that seems too cliched. Nevertheless, standing here in the bliss of thought, working against what it was I'm supposed to be doing, doesn't make my situation any better. Clean duty is something we're all tasked to do at some point, but given the amount of dust and grime laced across the room, I don't feel as if those before me put much effort into it. A tradition, or more so the will of learning life skills, that seems to have died off around here. Maybe this wouldn't be such a pain in the ass if it wasn't the only one here. Crying out in the empty room, the delicacy put into writing my name on the board is quickly erased by the desire to get out of here as soon as possible. I would have finished by now if the person who had the ingenious idea to skip out actually decided to turn up. It's not as if they didn't know that the job requires more than one person. If I knew who they were, I would have something to say, but I'm not the type of person to go out my way to confront them. And and I can't recall who it was anyway. I wipe away the dust, settle along the edge of the bookshelves, leaving the stray speckles to glisten in the now setting sun. Sounds of those engaged in club activities resonate from throughout the school grounds. All that's left now is to mop the floor, and my responsibilities as janitor can be passed on to an unfortunate classmate tomorrow. Perhaps they'll be lucky enough to have company. Weaving through the desks scattered across the room, the trip to the supplies cupboard is nothing but a short one. Swinging the door open, the scene before me presents a sight of emptiness as I remain still, clutching the door's handle. At this point, giving up doesn't seem like a bad idea, but a part of me still engrossed in getting the job done seems to say otherwise. I may as well scout for a mop and a bucket elsewhere. Given the apathy our class has towards cleaning, finding a spare set in another room wouldn't be a bad wager. I make my way out of the classroom under the assumption that the easiest thing to do would be to ask the next class, that is if they haven't already finished or given up. Much to my surprise, peering into the room seems to have paid off. Two girls make conversation inside, both brushing away at the remnants of the afternoon's lessons still chalked on the board in front. I head to the door. This would be a good thing that we should apply in English schools. To be fair, you get a bit of responsibility for your environment. So you make a mess, you clear it up. You're responsible for your classroom. If you want to live in a pigsty, you'll be in the pigsty. No one's going to clean it up for you. Anyway. Excuse me, would either of you happen to know when I could find a spare mop and bucket? The question itself isn't one I'd particularly dream of asking girls my age. After a quick glance towards one another, almost as if they were conferring silently, they both returned their gazes to me. The closer one responds.
I'm not sure. There might be one in the science lab, though.
And there we have some voice acting, which is a bit sporadic.
I don't think anyone goes to clean there.
Now, for me personally, I would have loved this if it was voiced in the native tongue. So yeah, I'm always a great believer that the original language should be voiced, and have an English track as well, but let the player choose if they want the original voice and they can read the subtitles. I just think it sounds more authentic and better to the setting. Anyway, alright, I'll go check, thank you. Departing the two with a slight bow, I head off in the direction of the science lab. Subject itself has never been my strongest, far from it. But given that we don't do much practical work, I bet I wasn't the only one here holding a grudge against sitting at the desk just to trace the teacher's notes from the board to book. I arrive at the door to the lab, privy to the sounds of footsteps seeping from the faint gap below the door. Unlike a regular classroom, the labs were walled off from the corridors on each floor, giving those inside a sense of privacy. If there's a teacher in there, then they're bound to know where I can get my hands on the cleaning supplies I need. What a delight! Opening the door, however, grants me with a sight I couldn't say I was expecting. Briefly blinded by the rays of sunlight flowing from the windows across the room, a figure of a girl materializes as my eyes adjust to the brightness. Adorned in flowing white lab coat, her eyes intently study the flask and test tube within the grip of her fingers. her entire self oblivious to my presence as she focuses on what's before her. Rested behind her shoulders, her hair done neatly into a ponytail blows softly in a draft from an open window. Despite opting for her glasses as opposed to proper goggles, she seems to have some sense of safety at least. Taking a closer look as she continues to stand in the doorway without words, her identity makes itself clear to me. Kyoko Ishikawa, a classmate of mine. I don't know her personally, but I'd be quite oblivious to not know who she was. She's pretty famous around the school, being known for her intelligence. Enough so to top the leaderboards for every test, not just in school, but regionally. Sorry. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense to find her here. It's not a surprise. However, with that sense of fame also comes a certain amount of infamy given the number of people talking about her. Rumour has it that a few months ago she was caught cheating, but as far as I'm aware, they were nothing more than allegations. Nobody had a real way to get confirmation from her, but nobody made the effort anyway. She herself doesn't talk much. These nerdy types of girls never do. I guess she's probably just shy. After accidentally pushing the door open, Kyoko's head turns in my direction, having now spotted me, leaving her slightly shocked by my presence. Perhaps standing here dwelling on her was pretty weird when I could have just spoken up beforehand. Now it just feels awkward. So like I say, I think it's incredibly well written. I don't want to really go too much into the game, but basically there's, as it says at the introduction, there's two girls who are competing against one another, you know, as school friends, colleagues, peers do against one another for various reasons. And you have a number. I'm just going to skip through this text. Just pause if you want to not listen to me ramble and just carry on with the story. Just pause each frame as I go through it. I'll leave it on the screen for a while as I'm talking about the game, and you can continue to read. So yeah, you go through a number of scenes, you go on a number of dates, you go, you know, there's some mobile phone interactions that you use. You can message and call them, or decline calls, accept calls, for example. The scenes go in like parks, streets, arcades. It's not the biggest visual novel in the world. There is quite a lot of choices, and obviously if you are taking your time to read everything going through, and you know, not just skipping it for achievements and such, you know, it's a decent length and definitely well worth the $9.99 asking price. There's 4 endings to the game basically. There's good ending for girl 1, good ending for girl 2, bad ending for girl 1, bad ending for girl 2, and you need to get both good and bad endings to get the complete the story achievement. And then there is also 2 bonus scenes which you access through the extras menu. You have to look through the encyclopedia and access these 2 scenes with a side character. Now I don't know if you can access them through choices in the game. I couldn't find a way of doing it, but I just accessed it through the extras menu anyway. But the story does go down 2 different routes, and you can, you know, mess up, and you can obviously stoke the rivalry between the 2 girls. You can obviously try and make them friends as well. You know, it does go down to very different routes if you want, which is a nice thing for it to do, because I find sometimes with these visual novels the deviation is not enough, and you feel like the choices you're making are making no difference whatsoever. In this game they clearly do. Visually, I mean, it's usual with these visual novels. The artwork is fantastic. I really wish I could draw like this. Drawing characters like this, it's amazing. I mean, it's usual high school settings, so you get a lot of classrooms and such as that, but the character models are you know, are very nice, very different. And we've got some voice acting, as you can see, in there as well, which is a nice little touch. I'm not sure why.
Would you like a drink? The store is having a special, so I bought as many as I could.
I'm not sure why they sound so
My bag was denser than osmium.
so young though. That's a bit off-putting for me. I think these are supposed to be like high school teenagers, like, you know.
This one's a drink for the intellectuals, the chosen ones.
Probably just anime style. I don't watch a lot of anime, so
I'm not going to drink them all. I just bought them in case anyone can.
we'll just see if we can get to another character. I think.
Yo,
Right, I'm just gonna go skipping. Right, there we go. Damn. I just want to show you a little bit more.
I feel as if
It's you again. I don't want to speak to you anymore. Let's speak to another character. There we go, Naomi. This is the other character you can interact with a lot.
Ew! Just leave Kyoko alone. She's not someone you should be involved with.
Oh, is she gone? Anyway, that was a brief little look at this. I can highly recommend this if you do like the visual novels, and especially if you do like the romantic ones. You know, it's a good example of what it is, and it's reasonably priced. So I can highly recommend this one. Anyway, I don't know if this approach to these videos actually works. It's a damn sight better than just flicking through over dialogue at 1,000,000 miles an hour just to show you how to get the achievements. That's for sure, because that to me doesn't do the game any favors, and you know, I'm not sure why those videos are accepted as of coverage, to be fair, because they're not. But yeah, this one was I'd say this one was a good one. As I say, reasonably priced. Some of the visual novels I think are way overpriced, but £10 for the amount of time you're going to get this, if you read through it and play the game as intended, is good value for your money. Anyway, I did say this was going to last about 10 minutes. It's lasted almost double that, but thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.